Time keeps on leaving and we keep on moving. When do we pass on our wisdom to the youth? My veteran story, lost arts discussions, fireside chats with a bourbon or two. It's time to hear the stories by our military veterans. Get yourself ready. It's the Lost Arts Podcast. The Lost Arts with Andrew Cox.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast. That podcast is giving a voice to our veterans. On today's episode, we're going to have a fireside chat, our weekly fireside chat with the podcast crew. We're down a couple, but that's okay. We're going to make do, and we're going to have fun without them. So they're just going to have to watch it the next time it airs. So we'll just figure it out from there. But if you are enjoying the episodes and you're enjoying the show, consider becoming a TLA patron. This is the Lost Arts patron. It's through donations that we're able to continue recording the podcast and getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. Just go to the Lost Art website and click on the Become a Patron link at the top. If becoming a TLA patron doesn't work for you and you would rather give a one-time donation, then go to the Lost Art website, scroll down until you see the donations link, and any donation is appreciated. And if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, then email me directly at, Email me directly at thelostartwithandrewcox@gmail.com. That's thelostartwithandrewcox@gmail.com. And as always, we have merchandise for sale. So if you want to get yourself something, I got this cool little hat here. I like it. But anyways, you can go on the website, click on that, and you can do it. But with me today, part of the podcast crew, we got Mike, we got Krista. How you guys doing today? Nothing?
I'm good. Good.
Good.
I'm a couple Guinness in, so don't hold it against me.
No, that would never happen here. Krista, how are you?
I'm great. I'm not Irish. Mike is. Mark's Irish and off the grid, so I bet they're super happy. Yeah.
He is definitely off the grid. He was probably off the grid about, 07 this morning.
Yeah.
He started his off-grid experience.
What does St. Patrick's Day for, guys? I mean, is it like, didn't St. Patrick run the snakes out of Ireland? Is that what that was?
That's a good question.
St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland.
Okay.
And actually the whole snake thing is, it's just a myth. But that's what we all know it as.
Okay.
But yeah, he was the patron saint that brought Christianity into Ireland.
Yeah, that makes sense. And he was I remember watching a show about it a long time ago, but he went there and then left and then came back again, or something like that. And they put him in captivity or somehow got him, and he ended up being, he stayed there.
Yeah.
You probably know the story. I don't know it.
I don't. I study history, and we went to Ireland, and we did a whole thing on it, like a whole excursion and tour. But I mean, as amazing as it was, and we saw supposedly his burial place, and the chapel that was built, which is amazing. It's a beautiful church, but it's terrible for me to say, but I was still, from the night before, I was like, okay, I hear it, but it was amazing. But yeah, he was the patron saint that brought Christianity to Ireland, and depending on how you look at it, I guess that's how it's explained, and that's their history. So it's really amazing. It's a neat thing in the monasteries that were built and he built, and it's pretty neat.
Yeah, definitely. But nowadays, most people know St. Patrick's Day from what do they call them? Pub crawls. That's very popular. Drinking the green beer. Chicago, I think, does the Green River. They dye it green.
Yeah.
So, but it is about green. So I don't know if you can see. I got green on today. So
I got mine here.
there you go.
I had it
Yeah.
on earlier, took it off when I showered.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
you said earlier you had like roofing nails. I'm like, well, what kind of party are you having with roofing nails? I'm like, really?
We were working hard today. Yeah.
I was like, you shouldn't be doing anything with this and roofing nails because that's a bad combination right there.
It was Caroline's Irish cream. Caroline's Irish cream. Yeah,
There
that
you
was for
go.
breakfast. Come on.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it. Well, of course, this month is Women's History Month, and I put you on the spot last week, Krista, and I shotgunned you. And although you didn't appreciate it, I thought it was funny. But so maybe we can jump in this week. I'm sure you're a little more prepared to talk a little bit about Women's History Month. So if you want to take that away, you're more than welcome to.
Because I did text you guys last week afterwards, and I was kind of disappointed myself. There are I've had both of my children throughout the years. We had a small the little books you would get at the Scholastic Book Fair. I had my children both buy this book. I actually have two heroes that I've looked up to for many, many years. And of course, I live in Beaufort, South Carolina. My two heroes are Harriet Tubman and Helen Keller. And when I was in college, I went to college several times. Trying to get my degree throughout the years, and in Hawaii Pacific University in Hawaii, and then of course here at USCB Beaufort. And they would ask you if you could spend 15 minutes with one person, who would it be? And I said, I would like to spend 15 minutes with either Harriet Tubman or Helen Keller. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit weaker minded per se, and I love snakes, but I don't like spiders, things like that. But these women are two of the strongest women I could even possibly imagine in the world. Harriet Tubman was born into slavery, and she helped over, I think, 7,000 people escape to freedom in the Underground Railroad. And the biggest thing about her, and I actually wrote it down so I didn't misquote it, that she was the first woman to lead an armed military operation in the U.S., in the United States.
Wow.
And to me, being a military person, a former military personnel, and she did that in the Combahee River raid just right up the road here, and the reason I think about her so often as well, and we've been back in Beaufort, South Carolina, on and off for 25 years. We were here for 3 years, went to Hawaii, and then have been back here for 22 years. And we drive to Charleston and we go across that river, which is the Harriet Tubman Memorial Bridge. And that's the Combahee River up there. So I think about her often daily, just think about what she went through, the things she traversed. The people that she killed, and you guys, I will get emotional. We talk about that I'm quite emotional these days. I can't imagine that she was able to finally free some of her family and move them to New York, to Albany, New York. I can't imagine having that strength. I get emotional about dealing with things with my father these days, and just having that strength to persevere. I mean, getting shot at, we talk about slavery and these islands. The states of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida are called the Gullah Geechee Corridor, and that is where a lot of the slave ships came to. From the African coast and the Sea Island coast. And then also after the war was over, a lot of the free slaves gravitated to these islands, these Outer Bank islands. And as you know, Paris Island, I live on a place called Ladies Island, and it's an island off the coast of Beaufort, which is also known as Port Royal Island. So all these islands, and you couldn't get to them in the old days except for by boat. And so there's the Gullah Geechee Corridor is something with a lot of heritage, a lot of history. And just to know that she was here after the war, and she actually came down. We had 3 hospitals that were called Hospital Number 11, Hospital Number 15, and I can't remember the last hospital, but these were all these old historic buildings. And she came down, she worked as a nurse to help a lot of the freed slaves and their families who had been abandoned by the plantation owners. This woman, I can't say enough about her. And what would I ask her in the 15 minutes if I got to spend that with her? Why did you not give up? How could you not quit? I mean, and she actually, we talk about sailors, how they would sail use the stars to sail. She learned to free her. Part of the Underground Railroad that she created was based on the weather. And I think about these things, how she was so resourceful, just the resourcefulness, the way that she could create these things in her mind. And I'm sure that she relied on people. She relied on a lot of religious figures in her time to put them up and hide them and things like that. You guys, I don't know what I would ask her. How did you not give up? And she has a few quotes out there. The quotes about, that you don't have. Let me see if I can find her exact quote. But I know, actually, I don't have it up in front of me, but that if in the Combahee Ferry raid, that she liberated more than 700 enslaved people, and
Wow,
that was just my big. It's a lot of people for just one raid, and that she partnered with Colonel James Montgomery, an abolitionist who commanded the 2nd South Carolina Volunteers and a Black regiment. And you guys, I'm just saying, a hero. So there's. If we want to ever look up to anybody, a woman who has spent, her entire young life in slavery, abused by husbands, abandoned by her husband, and her family, and then just really rose to the challenge. So that's my first hero. My second one is, I know it'll tear you up a little bit, and that she had some disfigurement. She had some mental problems because she had been beaten so severely, and just the obstacles she overcame. And those are obstacles that you and I will never have to overcome. So I'm glad. My other hero is Helen Keller. Helen Keller, she became blind at the age of around 18 months of age. I think she was very, very sick. The biggest thing with Helen Keller, when her teacher, Annie Sullivan, came to assist her, she was almost like a wild animal. She had become like a savage animal, a wild animal. And she didn't, she was in pure darkness. She was what they consider blind, deaf, and dumb. She couldn't speak, nor hear, nor see. So all three. And her parents did not know what to do with her. And she wouldn't eat. She couldn't do anything. So when Annie Sullivan, who became her lifelong partner and friend, and teacher, came to her, she did not understand that she had a mother or a father or siblings or anything like that. And she taught her how to do sign language in her hand. And when she taught her how to do sign language and spell out the word water in her hand over and over and over, like with water out, they had a pump, a water well. And I made my children do a report on her as well.
Nice.
I know I was a rough mom. And they helped her spell out water over and over and over. That's when she realized that she had a mother. And that was the thing that kind of clicked for Helen Keller. And then Helen Keller went on to write almost 14 different novels. And she met I can't remember which U.S. president she met. And then she actually drew a picture of him. But what she did was, when they had a conversation one evening, she went to his home. I don't know if she went to the White House or not, but he let her feel his beard and his face. And that was how she could communicate, was by feeling and touching. And I think it was a Roosevelt. Don't hold me to that. I wish I'd done a little more research, but I just wanted to tell you the things that I knew about the people I'd done research on. That I admired. And she couldn't speak. She couldn't, but she wrote books, she wrote novels. What would you ask Helen? Tell me, what would you ask Helen Keller if you got to spend 15 minutes with her?
I just don't understand how. Like, how can you be able to figure it out when there's no reference whatsoever? And her teacher, that's amazing to me that somebody could teach somebody like that. Because if I was her parents, I'd be the same way. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be lost and probably crying in a corner somewhere.
Right. I would give up. I would quit. If I lost a leg right now, would I be able to live? Would I be able to function? I would think that life was over. And we have people every day. We have the veterans, the things that you're doing, AJ, just the stories, getting stories out. and who join the Paralympics and keep going. I don't know if I have that inner strength. And these are two women who persevered through everything. To me, would my life even be worth living? So that tells you the privilege that I believe I have, that I take for granted possibly. And so it tells me, don't take that for granted. That's what I told you about getting up every day, going out, trying to make the world a better place. So that's why I try not to complain or, not say, oh, I don't have this, or, oh, I don't have that, because, not being able to communicate in any shape, form, or fashion to tell someone I'm hungry, or I'm cold, or I don't feel good, or I'm sick. You know, so not to complain that, oh, it's too hot in here, or, oh, I didn't get my package in the mail, or, oh, this didn't work out for me, or,
Oh, I ran out of bourbon.
oh my, that's too bad. Well, you know what? I think I'm dying because I'm sick, and I can't tell a single soul that I'm sick, so yeah. And to have to on someone totally and completely for every need that you have.
Yeah. That's a rough go. I don't know if I'd be able to do it. So,
And yeah, so but yeah, Helen Keller's journey, I mean, she was a humanitarian they both these women were just yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't be able, and I know when I worked at Goodwill, for 6 years, and I worked in the Job Link Center. And what we did there was we helped people get jobs, because there was a certain group of people at a certain age that if you didn't come along with computer skills and learn how to, upload a resume and do the username and password and things like that, they couldn't do it. And not everyone in this is a small rural town, has access to computers. And we help them, upload that. And I kind of lost what I was saying. It was just important to get those people to be able to do that.
yeah, very true. I got to be honest with you. I'm surprised that I've made it as far as we have with the podcast and figuring all that stuff. My wife has helped me quite a bit on it, but I am actually learning, which is cool. I don't know if you saw the commercials. That's pretty good. Yeah, good times. But I'm learning. I'm figuring stuff out. So learning has occurred. It's a good thing. Mike, I know you had an interesting story that you told us this week, and it's right along exactly what we're all about, the Lost Start here. So
Yeah.
why don't you and tell us all about it?
Well, before we get into that, I just want to say to Krista's point, it is Women's History Month, and you're talking about the strength that these women had. And I honestly, I know me personally, in my own marriage, that to have somebody that, we as guys are like, oh yeah, we can do this, we can handle this, we don't need to talk, we don't need, we can do everything. But to have a woman that is actually strong and can actually lead and can actually has the ability to say to you, get your head out of your tail and stop and quit feeling sorry for yourself and do something, and that's the big thing that I'm not saying AJ or Aaron or Vic or, even myself feel that way, but to be surrounded by somebody or have somebody like that in your life that has that ability. And, you, Krista, you deal with your own things, right?
Yes.
You have your own things you have to deal with. But mom's always mom. And, and you're sorry, I'm kind of getting teary-eyed. But, you're a mother and you're a wife. And that's what I've dealt with, and Andrew knows the story, and I will gladly sit with all of you and talk about it. But it was because of her strength that she pulled me out of the funk that almost ended it all for me.
Yeah.
Anybody that says that, oh, women can't do this, women can't do that, I'm like, well, you don't know my wife. She'll put you in a place in a heartbeat. She'll do everything she can for you. She's also the one who'll come back and say, get your head out of your ass. Let's go. And that's what Women's History Month is. Yeah, my wife's not a famous person in history, but I think it has to do with what you as women have to deal with, what you've had to deal with, what you've had to overcome, what you still have to overcome. And there's, things that you do that we just can't do as men. So I'm sorry. I'm being a baby. I apologize.
That's what I was saying last week about we just do what we have to do, right?
Yeah. But anyways, Andrew, to go on to what you were asking me. I don't know how to do it. I'm not.
You don't do it like that.
My job deals with. I work for Georgia Pacific, and Georgia Pacific is known for. I don't know that I should actually say the name Georgia Pacific, but I said Georgia Pacific. But it's known for lumber, plywood.
Good stock prices.
What's that?
Good stock prices.
Yeah. The construction products, drywall and all that. But I'm attached to a plant that makes corrugated containers or cardboard boxes. And I work in the mechanical packaging aspect of it, where we put machines in, and the majority of our customers are, and I think I've said this before, but produce farmers, poultry farmers, seafood, stuff like that. And you buy anything or have anything shipped to you, guess what it's in? It's in a box. Mm-hmm. And that's what we provide, but it's containers that are capable of holding produce and seafood, whether it be waxed for waterproofing for seafood and chicken and stuff like that. But this particular customer I was at this past week, I won't say the name of it, but they run greens and collard greens and cabbage and stuff year round. Well, this time of year, they're running heavy on cabbage. And last week and this week, especially, we're going into Easter, so greens, especially here in the South, got to have your collards.
That's right.
And stuff like that. And I've been going in there for 3 years now. And his name's Rick. He's in his 70s. And he's probably one of the gruffest old dudes. He was actually in the Army. You'd ever meet. When I first met him, he's like, I'm going to tell you what, this damn machine better work. Or, I was like, yes, it'll work. I promise you. He'd call. And the more and more I worked with him, the more he was, I earned his respect. But there was, I think I said in our group text message that, he's of the old school mindset that, you young guys know everything and you know how to fix this or how to fix that. And it wasn't necessarily something with the machine, but it was something that pertained to the machine it was a conveyor belt and bolts, it was all kinds of stuff. And he's like, can you fix that? And I was like, no, it's not really my thing, but he's like, well, I need your help. And he starts telling me how we're going to do it. And I looked at him and I was like, I don't think so. He goes, what? You don't think I don't know what I'm talking about? And, by his age, he still knows what he's doing and he can do some work. But he's there because of who he is and his experience and his ability to teach. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'll help you do it. And he had man, he had plywood and 2x4s and jacks and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, man, somebody's going to get hurt. And soon as we did everything that had to be done, I was like, holy crap. Seriously? He goes, well, you think I don't know how to fix something? I was like, I didn't say you didn't, but I was just kind of skeptical. But, talking with him, and, he's one of those people you have to earn your respect. You have to earn his respect. So this week I was in there, I was just checking on, nothing wrong. I was in there for about an hour and a half, and he walked by and he always calls me kid. He goes, hey kid, what are you doing? Somebody call you? I was like, no, just doing my job. I was coming in to make sure that you don't call me. He's like, all right, just checking. And he walks on, and I stayed in there when I was talking to some of the workers and that, and I finally was walking out to my truck, and he goes, hey kid, did you get any of those greens? Did you get any of those cabbages? I was like, no. Well, come and get some. I was like, no, I don't need. Well, you don't cook? You don't eat greens or cabbages? I said, yeah, I eat greens and I eat cabbages. But I was like, no, he goes, well, you need to get you some. Get you a box. I was like, I don't need. I appreciate it, Rick. But he's like, well, come on, get your box. Get your box. I was like, well, I'll take a couple bundles, but I'm not taking, I didn't eat cabbage. But he goes, you know how to cook them, do you? I was like, I know how to cook them, but so my wife's actually the better Southern cook, even though she's not from the South. But, with, the nurses and stuff she works with, they're always giving her recipes and do this. So she always does greens and stuff like that at Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter. And I said, no, my wife's usually better at it. He goes, man, my wife, he said, she was an amazing cook. And I didn't put this in the text message I sent to you guys. I said, well, take some home. That way she can cook them. And he goes, well, I would, but she passed away during COVID. And I was like, and he started just, talking about how everything she cooked and how she can make anything into a meal, and how they didn't have much, but they always had food. They always had a meal. And how his kids, are in their 40s, probably my age. And now his grandkids, and it's such a foreign thing to them, they won't eat it. He was saying his kids they refused to cook it because that made them feel like they were poor. And they didn't want to cook that. Of course, their grandkids are used to McDonald's and going out and whatever you can buy at the grocery store. And he goes, yeah, well, he said, I guess it is a lost art. He said, the art of cooking and the art of making something out of nothing, and the art of growing your own food and just providing for yourself. And I said, yeah, I think you're right. He goes, but you wouldn't know anything about that. You probably don't even know how to cook. And I was like, yeah, actually I do. I like to cook. He goes, so why the hell didn't you want any of them damn greens? And I was like, I'll take, give me some greens. I'll take them, But he was going on, and I kept, I talked to him and I said, well, did your wife write stuff down? Does she have recipes? And he goes, oh yeah, they were her mama's mama and her mama's and hers. And he goes, granted, she did a lot of the just a little bit of this, little bit of that, but he said, it's all written down. And I was like, do you still have all that? He said, yes. I said, if you don't mind, I would love to see them. I would love to see these recipes. And, I said, I don't want to keep them, but I mean, I'll take pictures of them and just to see. And he goes, oh yeah, you seriously want them? I was like, yeah, I do actually. He goes, okay, well, I'll see you next week. when you come down next week, I'll have them all. I'll have them in the truck. I was like, okay,
That's really cool.
and it was just, it really, like I said, I got teary eyed when he was talking to me about his wife, but then I was like, well, instantly in my head, I was like, a podcast. As soon as he said Lost Art, I was like, holy crap. I don't know how you guys grew up, but I mean, I didn't grow up in a poor family, but we didn't have everything and anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you wore what you had. I remember, it's going from that, but I got one pair of shoes a year, and
Cool.
those damn things better fit you till the fall. It's that, or my mother would get me, I wasn't at the time, but like a 32-inch, 32 length. She'd buy a 36 and hem the bugger out of those things,
No.
and
Yeah.
and have them up, and I'm walking around school, and everyone's like, "Oh, you got your pants hemmed up." I'm like, "Yeah, I do," And every year she'd let them out another inch, or get the little seam ripper and rip them out, and of course everything had to be ironed.
Yes.
So it was. I don't know if you guys knew Staff Sergeant Richardson, bass player in the band field. He was like the infamous. Everything had to have a straight crease down the middle. Your jeans had to have, a crease down the center. Iron, it's like your camis almost.
Yeah.
But as well as I do, especially denim, you iron it like that, it becomes faded, and it shows. And year after year, as long as I didn't get bigger around the waist, those jeans had, or as my mother called them, my dungarees. I'm gonna roll out those dungarees. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know what dungarees are, but
well, now.
Yeah. But I mean, that was the story. It was just, it's a shame we as a civilization, as people, I'm 50 years old. I know you're what, 60, AJ? And
Whoa.
And Chris is what? You're 30. I know you're younger than all of us, but I mean, it's just a lost thing. It goes back to working on things or fixing this, or it was just.
Since you said I was 60, I think that what we should try to do is take this dude. What is his name? The guy you're talking about. What's his name?
Oh, Rick.
We should take Rick, and once he brings you all of the recipes and stuff, we can take pictures of those. We can put them in a book, and then we can make a book and be like, "Hey, here you go." Give that back to him. Heck, we could sell it, and he can make money off it.
Yeah, well, that's an amazing idea.
The Lost Art of Cooking.
Yeah, that's right. The Lost Art of
Heck,
Cooking.
it's a lost art of opening a can of Spam. Man, who eats Spam anymore?
Man, I had some Spam the other day. Woo, buddy, I forgot how good that stuff was. Man, I sliced it up. Man, I threw it I grilled it up. Man, I was like, woo.
Man.
But even in the process of grilling it, you were eating it cold, weren't you?
Well, I won't say yes.
Okay. I see. You're not that.
The other thing I like is those Vienna sausages.
Yes.
And of course, I used to call them Vianney sausages because I'm from Vian, Oklahoma, so they were always Vianney sausages. But I like those too. Most people are like, oh, "That's disgusting." I'm like, "Oh no, that's fantastic."
Yeah.
And then you fry up that the Spam. You put a little mustard, put a sandwich. Oh,
crispy.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, Vienna sausages, saltines, and Dr. Pepper. Find a good fishing spot at Smith Lake in Alabama and go fishing with your grandpa.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, there's nothing beats a grilled cheese and Spam.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go get some Spam.
Funny thing is, my wife refuses to eat it. She goes, "I will not eat that crap." My
What?
son won't eat it, but my daughter, she loves it. She never had it. And one day I had a can of Spam, and she goes, "What is that?" She was probably 9, 10 years old, and I opened it up, and I just cut a piece off, and she was like, and to this day, she loves Spam. She'll eat it, but
It's
my wife
good.
and son will not eat it. But
The
I mean, sorry, go
and
ahead.
I'm sorry, Spam was in the Sea Rats, in World War II in Hawaii. So that's why it's still it's considered a delicacy. And they make it, with the seaweed wrapper and the rice.
yeah,
What's that called? Is it musabi?
Yeah, I got nothing.
I don't know.
Guys. Yeah, you can
I
get it
honestly don't know what they call it, but
you can get it in the restaurant. You go in, it's like a Friendlies over there, kind of like a Friendlies restaurant. But yeah, you get the rice and the Spam and wrap in the seaweed wrapper. Delicious.
Interesting.
I know we went out there in 2005. Our kids were little, well, Ken Douglas, AJ, yeah.
Yeah.
Him and his wife were there at the time. We were out there, and we went out, but we saw them for a couple of days, and he's like, "Oh, we got to go out to this restaurant. It's really good, really good. It's a little local place." We went, and he goes, "We got to get the poo poo platter. Got to get the poo poo platter."
Poo poo platter.
Yeah, that's what it's called, the poo poo platter. I'm like, okay. Come out, it was like 10 different variations of Spam. And it was like,
Yes.
I was like, "Is that Spam?" And he goes, "Yeah." My wife's like, "I'm not eating that shit. I'm not." I was like, "I'll eat it." It was the Spam with the seaweed and the Spam with this. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right. But yeah, it's the poo poo platter. I was like, okay. He said, "You got to get the poo poo platter." I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting name for it, the poo poo
Yeah.
platter. Yeah.
But I mean, that was such a staple to them. The Hawaiian Islands, Hawaii during World War II.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think it's delicious, but
I love it. But yeah.
That's a lost art of fine cuisine right there.
Yeah.
So I think I know a company that can publish a book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Cox Family Publishing. So I'm just saying, I know a guy, and we could get this done for this dude if you really want to try to do it.
I will. Yeah. Touch base with them in this
it shouldn't
coming
be
week.
too difficult either. I mean, if you got the recipes, you take a picture of it, then you type it out or whatever. Make it all nice and neat or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you just put it together. Boom. You can have books. You can have online books, like ebooks or whatever. You do all kinds of stuff with it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Since this guy has his publishing company, is he like a millionaire or what?
He's at least a dollar heir. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
At least. Yeah. He may not have $1 million, but by God, he acts like it. So, yeah.
As long as he has a cool hat, that's all that matters.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, and it can't get any cooler than that right there. So, I don't know. Your hat's pretty cool too. I don't want to.
Yeah. I don't have the head for it. I'm self-conscious about wearing it, but
What, that hat you're wearing now?
yeah.
No, it looks great.
Kelly always says, "What are you worried about?" I'm like, "Because I look like an idiot." She goes, "No, you do not." I'm like, yeah, I'm the most self-deprecating individual on the face of the planet. So
I've just come to realize that no matter what, people are gonna make
who
fun of me.
cares? Yeah, who cares?
They're gonna make fun of me no matter what.
I've actually learned that. I'm like, who cares? Whatever.
Yeah, I'm good at being the punching bag. I've done it once or twice.
I did have a question for you though, AJ.
Yeah.
Where's your overalls?
You know, so we're getting ready to go into the RV, and so I had to set clothes aside that are, hey, these are what you're gonna wear whenever we're in the RV. So I set aside my overalls, and I'm trying not to utilize those until the end of this week. You know, as we do the transition. So I'm trying my best to, only use the clothes that I'm not going to actually take with me right now. Uh, so I don't have overalls on right now. I apologize.
So you got a t-shirt on and no pants. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. You want to see?
No. I'm good.
I got this is a Justin Moore t-shirt. I think it's who it is. Yeah, Justin Moore, country singer. I believe from Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, I got his shirt. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I got it. And I got pants on, in case you're wondering.
No, I don't need to see.
Spring.
I mean, I'll put my leg up. See, I got pants on. I think I might have got it cramped just then, though.
Yeah. You get some sun on those legs, man.
Those legs hadn't seen sun in a hot minute. Oh, man. Yeah, we'll get together and we'll talk about the book thing for him. I think that'd be really cool, and I think it'd be something fairly easy to do. Yeah. I think we can make it happen.
Yeah, as long as he's willing to do it.
I mean, we could put something together and give it back to him, and
yeah,
in a book form or something, and not necessarily do it to sell it, but just do it to have so he has it or what have you.
Yeah,
for a gift or something.
Yeah, a gift or I like it. All right, so what else has been happening? I don't know if you guys are big into the sports, but you know Mike Tyson is going to be fighting again, which I'm very excited about. And I've been watching all his videos of preparing to knock. Who is it? Jake? I think it's Jake. Jake.
Yeah,
Paul.
It's one of the Pauls. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, getting ready to knock him on his butt. But he has power. God, it's awesome. What do you guys think about it? You follow it any? No? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anybody?
Krista?
I don't follow it, but I think he can do it. I mean, I call him the biter.
He did that. He did it. He owned up to it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
And I love him in the movies. I remember. I think I sent you guys that meme today. It was what was that movie called?
I can't remember, but they're good.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the movie. It's The Bachelor. They go. The guy goes to get married or whatever, and they go party and they go to Vegas and they lose track of time.
Yeah, it's Bachelor Party, isn't it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember now. Yeah,
but
I know what you're
they
talking
meet up
about,
with Mike Tyson at some point, and it might have been the number 2 one or whatever. There's been several of them, but the video is him walks up and it's like Jake Paul and brothers, and then he's like bam, and he knocks the guy out. It's a good movie. Good movie.
Whose ear did he bite that year? Who was that?
Holyfield.
Yeah.
And Evander is the guy that couldn't be one of us, right?
Huh? What do you mean?
Isn't Evander Holyfield the one that tried to come to Marine Corps boot camp? Yes.
Is he? I didn't know
Actually, I think you're right. Yeah.
He's the one that couldn't make it through, and then he said, "Oh, I'm ready to go back. I think I can do it now that I know what it's going to be like." We can check that out to verify.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I did not know that.
That's what that was where I was kind of leading with that. We can double check that. So instead, he's the one.
Yeah, that was a good fight. That was a good one. I have not been watching. I haven't watched boxing in a long time. I've watched it every now and again. I used to really like watching boxing. They had some good matches back in the day. But you know who I really liked watching fight boxing was Butterbean. You know who Butterbean is?
Oh,
He was
I know the name, but I can't.
he's a big, let's say rotund white guy. And he would just get in there and annihilate people. I mean, he was a big old boy. But yeah, I was always enjoyed watching him fight. He did UFC, or I don't know if it's UFC, but when they started doing mixed martial arts, he did that for a while too, I think. I was always,
I know who you're talking about now. Yeah. Yeah. I always wore like the red, white, and blue trunks.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
it was Evander Holyfield, just to check. That was definitely him. So he couldn't hang with us. And then but I think Mike Tyson can take him. I think he can.
Oh my,
I like Mike. I think he's a cool guy. I don't know him personally. I mean, obviously I don't know any of them personally, but
he's just got a bad rap. He's done some stupid things over the years.
Who hasn't? We all have.
Yeah.
We're talking about Mike Tyson?
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
He has done stupid stuff. Let's be honest. Yes.
Well, I mean, where he was at that point in his career, he could do stupid stuff. And
now okay, this is what I used to tell the kids that would come in Goodwill and had to do community service. One kid came in, a soccer player, and he was the captain of the soccer team at the college. He goes, I can't believe I have to do community service for having a paintball fight in the barracks or in the dorms. I said, no. Let me get this straight. You're not doing community service because you had a paintball fight in the dorms. You're doing community service because you had a paintball fight in the dorms and got caught. That's what it is.
That's good.
So that's the same with Mike Tyson. He did stupid stuff and got caught or got recorded. So there's a difference in doing the stupid stuff and getting caught. That's
oh my gosh.
Yeah, you got caught. That's what it is.
Yeah. So what else is happening? Let's see what else is going on in the world. News. We could talk about news. I haven't really been paying attention this week. My wife said that we should talk about the football player and the country singer. What's her name?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and Travis Kelce. Yeah.
Yeah. You've been watching the show, and yeah. See, they got a podcast, the Kelce brothers, and she listens to it all the time. But he's dating Taylor Swift. So she wanted us to talk about that. I've got nothing.
It's that whole thing is considered to be a whole big conspiracy that the ratings for the NFL went through the roof.
Yeah.
On the Kansas City games. I mean, some of those games were the most watched games in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because of that whole thing. And, they would pay him up to the box, and there she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know what award ceremony it was in like January. I don't pay attention to like Oscars and Emmys and all that crap. But it was one of the what's his name? Do you ever watch shows? They're like four friends. They go around like New York City and they like prank each other and set each other up for God, what the hell is their name?
I don't know.
They've known each other. They all grew up together. What's that? But they all grew up. They were all friends growing up, but they're all comedians. But like they'll go into
I think I know what you're talking about.
God, I can't remember the name of them.
It's got Adam Sandler.
No.
No? Then I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't remember. Anyways, it was one of the guys out of that bunch. He was hosting the award show. At least I think it was. And he made a comment about how maybe tonight we won't have as many camera flashes back to Taylor Swift as we do during a Chiefs game. and it was like a fart in church. And she just picked up her wine. She's like, it turned into a whole big stink. And he's like, come on, it was funny. And everybody's like, because she's like the queen now, especially with this tour and everything she's got going on. But
Mike, I think it's Practical Jokers.
yes, that's it.
What is it?
Impractical Jokers.
Practical Jokers. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that. I'll have to go watch
you'd have to go on and watch them on YouTube, because they'll go into like just a store or a restaurant, and they'll all take turns, but they're all like behind the scenes in a back room.
Oh,
and it's all on camera, and they'll send like Sal or whatever his name in, and they're like, okay, and he can hear him. He's got an earpiece in, and we're like, well, you got to go in there like he's ordering a sandwich at a deli, and it's like, man, is that the meat that came off the backside of that cow's butt? Stuff like that. That's what I want. And everybody's like looking at them, and and it's to see if they'll laugh first, or if they can actually sell the joke. And they have it's like whoever wins at the end of the show is like, I won. I got away with the most, or it's just stupid stuff, but it makes you laugh.
Huh. I think I have seen that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Huh.
As far as Swift and Travis Kelce, this is okay. Y'all are going to hear my fanaticism a little bit. I call all that, and the Oscars and all that stuff, I call them all entertainment whores. Okay. This is why I call them that. We pay now price has gone up, inflation, $24 for them to entertain us for 2 hours out of our life for a movie, or $10 or $15 for them to entertain us for a 3-minute song. Okay. Here's the thing. I think that the society and the world has elevated their worth to higher than what it is. I'm not saying their worth isn't important, but these people this is my diatribe for the night. We pay them way too much money, including sports, professional sports, more than a first responder or a military or a teacher or somebody who's a nurse, a doctor, somebody whose worth is more important. Their worth is important to their family, their friends, their spouse, brother, sister, a few close personal friends, but the world hangs on them all the time, and their value is just elevated higher to higher. I've been drinking. Their worth is elevated higher than what it should be. So I call them entertainment whores, and I just don't watch any of it. I don't hang on any of it. I'm glad that they're happy and in love, whatever that is. But, I think that the guys that are playing football, they're important too. I love the Chiefs. I like the Bengals because my son-in-law is a Bengals fan. He's from Ohio. I can't help it. I have to support my family, But but that's it. As far as them, and I even have a couple Taylor Swift songs on my playlist, but I also have, Delta Dawn, and I also have Speedy Gonzalez. I've got a lot of songs on my playlist. Do y'all remember that song from Pat Boone? So I've got a lot of songs on my playlist, things that cheer me up and make me happy and I enjoy, but I keep it all in perspective. So, so that's what I think about all that. Yeah. Because our worth, I think there's better things in the world that would make the world a better place than just focusing on her. I don't think, music is important. Obviously we're all musicians here. So I'll stop. I digress.
I agree with you that the more well known you become, the more people want to hear your opinion about things. And sometimes it's just best to just go, yeah, I got nothing. I got my opinion. I'll keep it to myself. Have a nice day. That's what I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear somebody say that.
I just don't think they matter. They don't matter in the big scheme of things.
Yeah.
And you hear so many of them now. It doesn't matter what they're, whether actors or singers or athletes. Well, I have a platform and I'm going to use it. Well, great. If you can actually make good in the world and change, I'm all for it. And that's one thing you see if you watch like a Sunday football game. They'll sit and go on about this player, works with these kids in this city, underprivileged kids. I mean, I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's absolutely amazing that they do. But, and it's going to sound terrible when I say it, but why does it have to be announced? Why, that's the thing, AJ, if you did it, or Krista, if you did it.
Mike. Mm-hmm.
So, hey, here's something that I would say to that is the the news media and all the crap that they got going on. What happened to newscasters just talking about the good stuff that happens?
Exactly.
You hardly ever see it, at least. It drives me crazy.
You're spot on, Mike. When I do the Share the Legacy program, when I'm talking to people about doing things, real integrity is doing the right thing when no one will ever know you did it.
Absolutely.
And we talking about the real value, like the Oscars, all the Oscars is all of them getting together to pat each other in the back for doing a good job at their job. Okay. And like when I worked at Goodwill and there was 3 of us in that office and we helped 7,000 people in this town get jobs over 5 years. At the end of the year, if we had a Christmas party, it was the 3 of us and we sat there. And do you think anybody rolled out the red carpet and patted us on the back for doing a good job at our job and helping people get jobs? No one ever even said thank you. But the customers that came back in and said, "Oh, Miss Natalie," or it was Nikki. Nikki, I got the job, Nikki. And they were tears in their eyes because they got a job making $10 an hour and they were so happy because we changed their life. But no one ever rolled out the red carpets. We didn't wear $20,000 or $30,000 dresses, and there was no accolades. There was no Golden Globe, but we did a good job at our job. So, I think one of your wives an EMT or something, or nurse?
My wife's a nurse.
A nurse, right. But, so we do our job, doing a good job, but no one's going to have an award show for your wife at the end of the year and spend thousands and millions, pay her millions and millions of dollars that she deserves. So that's why I call them all entertainment whores. They're sold out to the highest bidder. That's my 2 cents.
Well, I agree 100%. And that's one of the biggest things that, like going back to Taylor Swift, I listen to other podcasts and radio stations that are put into podcast format while I'm driving. And they've been talking about this Taylor Swift tour. It's been going on for 6-7 months now.
Less.
Yeah, I couldn't give 2 craps, but they were talking about the money she's made from this tour. I mean, we're not talking millions, we're talking millions. And yeah,
and I'm sure she's working hard. Good.
Well, she's talented. Yeah, she's talented. I mean, supposedly she treats her people well.
Good for her.
But, she's also that generation of, we need to do better. People need to be treated better. We need to treat the environment. We need to do this. We need to do that. And they were talking about the carbon footprint this tour was put on the world from jets. It's not a jet. It's not 2 jets. It's jets to haul her equipment all over the world in tour buses. And, every time she goes to the Kansas City game to see her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, do you think she's taking an electric vehicle there?
Never.
Yeah, she's flying there on a private plane. But to me, it's you're the hypocrite of hypocrites. And I may be wrong, but that's just my personal opinion.
I doubt it.
I think you gotta make a stance, right? Like if you're gonna sit here and lecture people on, hey, the world's coming to an end because your carbon footprint and all this other crap, that's fine. But hey, the proof is in the pudding. Like if you want to say that about people, then you got to do the same thing too. And that's why I don't say that to people. And I drive my 1995 Jeep Wrangler that's probably busting out more freaking carbon dioxide or carbon poison or whatever the freak it's called all over the place. I don't care. I enjoy driving it, and I'm going to continue to drive it. Not to mention Uncle Sam. He can't stop that vehicle unless he stops the gas. But other than that, he can't stop it. You know, because the new cars nowadays, they just push a button right there, and then the car just stops.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam, shame on you.
It's Uncle Samantha to you.
Whoa, hello. Uncle Samantha.
I'm sorry, I had to go there.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of went off on a little.
No, you're fine.
If you're listening, I was just joking. So, it's a joke.
They sponsor the podcast.
Oh, man, I'm in for it. I'm going to get a knock on the door tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're on an Army installation, huh? I see how you are.
Yeah, I am on an Army installation.
Yeah.
Currently, yeah. Cool. So what other things you want to chat about?
What were we going to talk about? There was something else you mentioned. What was it?
Luxurious AJ's beard's coming in. It's like,
yeah, I got to get in close so you can see it. I'm no Aaron. I'm no Aaron, but I'll catch up.
Wax mine is good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Mike, are you gonna throw yours out?
I've grown it out, and I look terrible. So
you just gotta go. Go for
well,
it.
the whole thing's gray, so it's like dark, and then gray, and this is all gray, and then it's.
Hey, look at the podcast this coming week. And as you're listening to this podcast, it's actually going to be yesterday and the day before. But for YouTube, because this is, I guess in the past, the future, I don't know. Anyways, Thursday and Friday, listen to that podcast. Brandon Narr is his name. Beard, humongous, white. I'm talking not gray. It's white, a white beard. And it is awesome. Yeah, he looks good. Check it out.
Got a white beard?
White beard. It's not gray. It's and the top of his head isn't that color. Like you look at the hair on the top of his head, it's not. But his beard sure is. Man.
So the curtains match the drapes? Is that what you're saying?
I haven't asked nor looked. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I'm just playing.
Huh.
I was trying to find a picture on my phone while we're talking of me actually having a beard, but I don't know if I got one.
I think that everybody on the podcast, of course, Krista, you can just let your leg hair grow if you want, but everybody needs to let the beard grow, you know. So
good.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, my son's growing his out, and I'm like, dude, you need to shave. Like, you damn hippie. Shave that shit off. I'm like, you damn hippie. Come on.
Now, y'all toured around a little bit. When I was at Quantico, we went up to Nova Scotia for the Nova Scotia tattoo, right? I don't know if any of you guys, and y'all have done a couple tattoos, I believe. AJ, you might have. I don't know if you have, Mike.
I have one or two.
So we're up there, and we're staying at the college there in Nova Scotia. And we're at the college one afternoon. I don't know if we had an afternoon off, but I go in and we're going to go at the college. I'm going in and into the sauna, and I have on a swimsuit because I'm an American, you know, and I go in there and there's several of the guys, they're from Germany, and I walk in stark naked. stark naked. Well, there was a guy, I think he played for trombone, Searle. Searle was a great guy, and he was in there, and I don't know if he just had a towel around him or not, or if he had boxers on it, but he was so gentlemanly and he was so chivalrous. He's like, "It's okay, Hector, come on in." And he scooted because he was with us in the Quantico band. And he slid over next to him, so I didn't have to like sit down, and I couldn't like turn around and U-turn out. I guess I could have, but we're all in there, and a lot of those guys, and the girls too. The girls didn't shave, so I'm in there with a bunch of just butt-ass naked, Europeans. And they didn't shave, or they didn't clothe. They were just, commando all the way everywhere. So, but Searle he was cool with it. He's like, "I got you. Don't worry. Come on, got this," because I'll slide over.
Yeah. Mike's like that. Last time I sat in the sauna with him, he went buck naked and scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
No,
But a lot of Europeans didn't shave.
the cruises we've been on, we went, I think it was actually last year this week. It was my wife's birthday because her birthday was yesterday. And it was a Caribbean cruise, and we went to Belize and Honduras and all that. It was like a spring break cruise. Really, we didn't even think about it. But, there was a lot of European families on the ship too. And we went out by the pool, and, we're like, "Oh, let's go out by the pool." And they were having a Mr. Manly contest.
They had the banana hammocks on.
Yes. If you call even, it was like Borat with less than that on. And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, it's like, we're standing there, walking by. I was like, my wife, she, I actually had an excuse at that point because you get all these young girls walking around. Then we were sitting there and eating or something, and all these college girls walking through, and it's like, sit there and eat. Okay, let me eat my cheeseburger. It's like, all right, and then all of a sudden these dudes are walking through with like Speedos that were like a thong that some woman would wear, and it was like, so I finally sat there and I looked at my wife, and she was like,
Yeah.
doing that. And finally, there's like 5 or 6 girls came through. And I looked over at them. I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was sitting there eating. I was like, she looked at me. She goes, "Did you get a good look?" And I was like, can you believe that they would wear those outfits out like this? Can you imagine what their mother and father must be thinking right now? And she looked at me and she goes, "Seriously?" I was like, "Yeah, well, I saw you looking at him over there." I said, all I saw was a kibasi that was wrapped up in a freaking, and she goes, "Yeah." It was like a kibasi that went around. Came out, and it was like sitting on his hip, and I'm like, there's no way that's freaking real. There's no damn way that's real. I was like,
had a python in there.
No, you're going back to just think about it. Think about like Sean Connery, and I won't even, and I won't say the first movie, in the original James Bond movies,
Yeah.
And a lot of the Europeans, what they wore, they wore the Speedos, they wore the tight, tight boxers, or bikini type suits. So, yeah, we took a cruise a few years back with a couple. And Gary, he was in the Navy, and he was a Navy musician, but we were on the adult beach at Serenity Bay on the Disney Island, and he came walking down the beach, and we're like, whoa. And he just flaunting it all. We're like, okay, Gary, you're up. So older generation, sometimes you're like, are you kidding me? They have no filters, none whatsoever.
Well, it's not, they don't look at nudity in the human body the same way.
No, not at all.
Where we're extremely offended, and it's obscene. Where they don't look at it the same way. It's like drinking over there. Granted, they're not giving a 6-year-old kid a glass of wine, but they don't. It's not a taboo thing. It's like, okay, well, go ahead, try it. have a drink,
And
stuff
so
like that.
in a personal space too. They're a little bit more touchy,
Yes.
huggy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I learned that when we were in Ireland on the cruise. All these people from England and Newfoundland and all that we met, man, they were, the one dude, he's like, come here, Mike. He's like giving me a hug, and he'd had a few drinks, and we'd all been sitting around it. The our favorite bar,
You hit the
next
I
thing I
love
know, he's like, come here, man, I love you. I love your voice. And he's like rubbing my back and like, dude, you need to, next thing I know, I'm like, and we were done. I walked away. I was like, I said to Kelly, I was like, just grab my ass. She goes, yeah, I know I saw it. It was freaking hilarious. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was like, I was like, no, it wasn't.
It's good.
But it's just how they view things. They tend to be more open about things where, maybe we're more open about things where the average person isn't, depending on where you're at in the country. But I mean,
it's true.
Yeah,
You got to go for the shock and awe.
Yeah, well, he went for the shock, and he wasn't going to get the awe because I was like, no, sir, no, I don't think so.
You thought it said Virginia is for lovers. It said Ireland is for lovers.
Yes, yeah.
Makes sense.
What happens on a cruise ship stays on a cruise ship, I guess.
Oh, my word. Well,
Amen.
What happens on the podcast stays on the podcast. So,
yeah, until you publish it.
Yeah, until you publish it. Yeah. But Uncle Sam, I didn't mean everything I said.
Yeah, didn't you say you were getting an RV that was like the new state of the art electric, an EV RV and all that?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. Because I think it's very important to have electric vehicles, and to help the environment. And I'm really worried about the polar bears and the ice caps. What else am I missing?
You may want to stop there.
At the ice caps.
Yeah.
And
the polar bears.
I'm very
the only
upset.
thing that matters is you have that electric vehicle, and make sure you got a good generator to charge it. That's all that matters.
I watched a thing where where a guy was driving from New York down to North Carolina, and he had an electric vehicle. Did you guys watch that?
I've seen something similar, I think, yeah.
The guy couldn't find his station, and his car went completely dead. And then they're like, no, you can't charge here. And they stopped at a hotel. They're like, you can't charge here. You don't stay in the hotel. Get out. So, the dude had to call a tow truck to come get his car. This is all electric. I'm not laughing at him, but I was definitely laughing at him. If you'd have had a 1995 Jeep, you wouldn't have had to worry about that. Just saying.
Yep.
Now mine's a 4-banger. It ain't nothing fancy, so it could be worse.
I think the biggest thing with some of the electric vehicles now that if that battery goes completely dead and discharges, there's no charging it. They've got to replace the whole power cell in it, I think.
And not only that, the expense that to replace one of those is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we weren't having a podcast then when that happened back in the storm back in February. I guess y'all heard about all that, with them. They couldn't charge them.
Oh, when the storm came through?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thought that was interesting. And we saw one recently that the guy, his battery was dead, had a small jumper in the trunk, and it would do a jump to jumpstart the battery. But in order to jump, you had to charge the jumper up, and in order to get that going, you had to put gas in.
Really?
So it was a gas operated electric jumper to jump the battery off.
It makes sense. I mean, you can only have. I'm sorry, you can't do all electric like for everything. It isn't going to work. We're not there. We haven't arrived yet.
Yeah,
I don't trust.
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid yet. So.
Well, it's not even, we don't have the infrastructure to have those kind of vehicles. But, a good buddy lives in Virginia, who's a former Marine, a former bandsman, it's a firefighter. He's like, Mike, fire departments in this country do not have what they need to handle an electric car accident fire. That you just can't put a car out like that. The protocol is just let them burn.
Wow.
Just let them burn. That's all they can do. Because they, you have to be careful. You can't put water on them. There's certain chemicals, and I don't know everything, and I may be saying it wrong. But
no, you're
the
not.
protocol is they have to just let them burn. They have to let them burn themselves out and stop and think about what that is putting out into the environment. If you're in an accident, a bad accident, one of the first things the fire department does, or whoever shows up, is they disconnect your battery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, while they're dealing with you or whatever, they've got the hood ripped up or open or something. They're disconnecting the battery because they don't want any electrical power going to that vehicle in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But, a lot of the fire departments now, California may be different. Maybe they're able to deal with it. But he said a lot of these states cannot. We don't have the resources we need. It's a special foam, and I may be wrong, to be able to extinguish these fires, especially with that style of battery.
I think you're partially correct. Correct. I don't know. I'd have to do the research, but I know we have special. When I taught new employment orientation at Goodwill, I also taught fire safety, and there's specific fire extinguishers for electrical fires. Of course, first
Absolutely.
you unplug, and once you unplug it, then your fire becomes a different type of fire. It's no longer electrical fire. Then you have like a hardware fire, metal fire. But with those batteries, I think you're correct, Mike. I'd have to do more research. To find out all the facts on it. But yes. So then something that large, like an electrical vehicle fire, what's required to put that out and put it out safely.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. We'd have to do more research to get the facts. Yeah, because we have specific fire extinguishers here at home, and some are for electrical only.
Well, absolutely.
So what you're talking about is a large scale, for a vehicle or something. So.
Interesting. Well, we definitely veered into a different conversation there. That's okay.
Yeah, we did the best we could.
We are missing one or two. I'll just throw that out there. Because it's St. Patrick's Day, and there's very important things to do on St. Patrick's Day. So,
like what?
I don't know, because I'm not doing them.
Oh, I've been sitting here all day. I've been sitting in front of this iPad all day waiting. I'm like,
this is the important thing right here. All right. Any last words before we start wrapping this up? Krista, Mike, either one?
I don't have any good words of wisdom, so I don't know what to tell you. Other than probably whiskey.
Probably whiskey. All right.
Hold on, I'll give you something.
All right.
Harriet Tubman's quote: "One does not surrender a life in an instant. That which is lifelong can only be surrendered in a lifetime?
All right, say it one more time. One more time. I gotta let it
One,
sink in.
one does not surrender a life in an instant. That which is lifelong can only be surrendered in a life.
Wow, that's good. That's really good. I guess we'll end it right there then. All right, Mike, Krista, thanks
But
for
now
joining.
Krista got me all right. I got one now.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
All right, hit me.
Don't be afraid to take the first step, even though you can't see all the singers.
Oof. Wow. I've got nothing. Stay motivated, change your socks. I told my daughter today that she was looking up inspirational quotes. She's 11. I never looked up an inspirational quote when I was 11. I can tell you that. But she was looking them up. She's reading them off to me. I was like, oh, that's really nice. I was like, I got one. And I said, stay motivated, change your socks. She's like, that's not inspirational. I said, well, it just depends on who you are.
Yeah. It's all situational.
That's right. Yeah. 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 Other than that, I got nothing. But I can't see it. Anyways.
So when are we
All
going to
right.
have a reunion tour? We got to have a reunion tour here. When is it scheduled there, AJ, and you and your motor vehicle?
When you talking about reunion tour, you talking about like the big party that we had, the Coxapalooza?
Oh, yeah, it's like Coxapalooza 2, whatever. It's like in Tampa or something like that where Krista can go and
yeah,
everybody.
You were not the first one to ask that, by the way. I did have somebody shoot me a message on the face page and be like, hey, when's the next Coxapalooza going to happen? And
yeah,
I'm
you
like,
got to have an East Coast, a West Coast. You
whoa, I don't know about all that. But what I told them was, hey, we're going to try to piggyback on the MCMA, Marine Corps Musicians Association, and everybody can go join the MCMA. They could all have the festivities there. And then after that, we have Coxapalooza, which would be Coxapalooza 2. We'll have to see about what band we can get to perform. I don't know if I can get the same guys to come down, but hey, we can get somebody.
Ooh, I play the radio.
Sometimes I can't even play that.
Where's MCMA this year?
Camp Lejeune area, but it might be up in Greenville. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be in Greenville. So I'm just waiting. My guy's in Hawaii right now, and he should be back. I need to not be the middleman. I need to let people be in charge who are in charge, and so I'm being very patient, non-nagging woman right now. So
I'm impressed.
Sometimes you need to be.
That's true. That is true. This is Women's History Month, and you should be nagging everybody right now. I'm just saying.
Listen, do it now. So,
as my wife tells me, you are the master procrastinator. So I'm like, yeah, well.
Well, Krista did. I did put something on face pages, and Krista was like, messaged me right after. She's like, "Hey, you need to take that down." Not yet. Wait. And I was like, "Oh, my bad." So I put the date.
Tomorrow's Monday morning, and I'll reach out to both these two guys and say, "Hey, I need something now," because my newsletter needs to be in mailboxes by April 1st.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really does, and I'm waiting on these guys.
Right around the corner.
I know. I'm being super, super patient because I understand other people got lives, but I'm trying to pull myself out, not be the middleman, and let these two gentlemen do their jobs. And so patience is a virtue. Not right now, it isn't. That's from The Mummy. I love movies, so I love movies.
Oh man. Yeah, so we're looking at MCMA. It'll be sometime probably November. More than likely. I'm not going to say that 100% because I don't know that. But yeah, probably no, I'm sorry, October, and not November. It'll be October because November is Marine Corps birthday, November 10th, 1775. Hoorah. And yeah, October time frame will be the MCMA. And Mike, you got to join the MCMA, and then you can come out for Coxapalooza too. And we will I'm not paying for all the Coxapalooza too, though. I mean, it's going to be a joint effort. Everybody that attends is going to assist in. it's
We can do a GoFundMe.
Oh man, my wife, she's like, "Why are you offering up to do another Coxapalooza? Are you kidding me?" And I was like, "No, they can pay their own way. I mean, it's booze; they can buy their own booze. BYOB, something like that."
Oh, my husband loves his cup. Be strong, be brave, be badass. He loves it. He's like,
yeah,
I'm like, yes, I got this for you. He loves
that is
it.
a nice cup, though.
Show it off. He's all over it. Yeah, he loves it.
My wife is the one that designed that cup or whatever, and somebody used that at their birthday ball as a gift, and they said that it was the biggest hit of the birthday ball, and they said whoever came up with this design was the most, how did they put it, like most badass Marine ever to, or something. I don't know. They were just talking about how very Marine that person was. That was all my wife. She designed all that.
He loves it. I was like, I got something. He goes, "What'd you get? Some stuff for your thing?" And I was like, I got something for you too. And he loves it because it's got all three of the guys.
Does he take it to work with him?
Yeah, he will. He'll take it because I got it Saturday. And do y'all know he's doing a thing that's going to go out in the new Marine Corps Musicians Association newsletter. There was a gentleman who was a Marine musician who actually got his Medal of Honor with Dan Daly. So just some real good history going on there.
No kidding. Who's that?
Read about it if you guys join the MCMA and get the newsletter.
Wow. You are just totally, that's not nice.
No, it's exciting. We can talk about it next week, but a lot of really cool history going on. Just real cool stuff. Because Dan Daly was a new PFC or Lance Corporal that joined up with them in the late 1800s out of New York when this Marine musician had joined back. They had sailed back up from South America or the Caribbean and gone back up to New York. So lots of cool history that we're learning and just sharing stuff. I'm so excited, guys. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Exciting times. So yeah, he loved his cup. Thanks.
Good. Mike, you're looking at me all crazy.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at you, man. You're just one handsome dude, man. I just don't know what.
I'm not even wearing my Speedo.
As long as it's not green.
Yeah. I am gonna start a OnlyFans page though. In case everybody is interested. I'm gonna start an OnlyFans page. There's some freaky deaky people out there and they'll pay for some weird stuff. So
we won't talk about it here, but shoot a text when you're done. And I'm curious to find out what content you're going to put on that one. I don't want you to just asking for a friend, dude. I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm like, huh?
It's time to sign off. Okay.
Nothing cute. All right, with that, hey, thanks, Mike, Krista, thanks for joining. Hey, for everybody out there, make sure if you're struggling, you need some help, make sure you reach out for some help. You can always dial 988, press option 1. That'll have somebody to be able to put you in contact with somebody that'll be able to help you. You can also text 838-255. Again, that's 838-255. Same type of thing. They're going to be able to put you in contact with somebody that can help you. Or if you want to go online, veteranscrisisline.net. They have the chat icon. So if you're one of those youngsters that likes to chat, you can always do that. But one veteran's life lost is one too many. I know Mike and Krista and all the other veterans out there, myself included, we all care about you and we want what's best for you. But one veteran's life lost is one too many. So please go out and ask for help, and somebody will be there to help you. But with that, Mike, Krista, thanks for joining us today. I truly appreciate it. To everybody out there, thanks for tuning in. Stay motivated. Change your socks.